Please purchase a personal license to remove this message. The sky was the color of a fading bruise, that sick purple-gray of pre-dawn where shapes are ghosts and the air holds its breath. Frost edged the grass in brittle, crystalline webs. Of Mara's head, only a greasy, frozen smear remained, leaching a unnatural chill into the ground that seeped into John's boots. Jack was a wound-up spring of motion. He moved through the campsite not like a man packing, but like a surgeon excising a tumor, fast, precise, ruthless. Bedroll cinched, canteens stashed, every item placed with an economy that spoke of a lifetime fleeing worse things than dawn. "You're in a hurry," John observed, his voice sandpaper rough. Jack didn't pause. "We have to hurry, we have a moment to spare." "For what? The sun is still not up," John pressed, watching him. "For the preacher we have to hurry, we must reach the compound before he acts." Jack answered. "Why the sudden rush? You said yourself we have at least a few days?" John asked, pulling on his duster. The leather felt heavier. Mara was not a subtle creature. Her silence will scream to him. He will know one of his guardians is missing. He will be forced to accelerate his timetable. The poison will be poured today or tomorrow at the latest. Why will they accept a change in the plan? Jack. Relax. John's tone was gravel defiance. The fools will drink. Jack's words were clipped, final. They believe they are about to become angels. Why would they wait even a moment longer? A cold that had nothing to do with the frost settled in John's gut. "Then why are you wasting breath explaining it to me?" "Because you asked," Jack said, slinging a pack over his shoulder, "and it is the fastest way to make you move." A hot ember of pride, bruised from the helplessness of the dream, flared in John's chest. He stepped into Jack's path. "I saw you last night. All that silk and fire. You carved up a nightmare like Sunday roast. Why not just march in there and take the preacher yourself? Why do you need me at all?" Jack's mouth tightened. It wasn't a smile. It was the expression of a man biting back a curse. "I am not that powerful, John. I wish I was, but I am not. I was simply prepared. There is a world of difference. You killed that crone easily enough." "I killed a starving crone," Jack corrected, his voice low and sharp. "She was a psychic parasite. She drains her prey first, weakens them unto death, then consumes the remnant. You resisted stubbornly. By the time I intervened, she had expended nearly all her strength trying to unmake you. I did not slay a goddess. I put down a feverish animal." The truth of it was a gut punch. John's hand flexed, the memory of the useless colt in the dream haunting him. "So I was bait. You knew she was out here. Knew what she'd do, and you didn't think it was worth your time to warm me." Jack shouldered past him towards the horse. "We do not have time for your wounded pride." John's hand shot out, gripping Jack's arm. It was like gripping carved oak. "Answer me. If you want my gun, you want my help, you answer." "You knew?" Jack stared at the hand on his arm, then at John's face. He didn't shake it off. He simply removed it, with a slow, undeniable pressure. "I used an opportunity presented to me. Or have you forgotten who pointed the gun first? Who tied the ropes? You gave me an opportunity, John. I merely took it. And then I saved your life. Our accounts are not as simple as you wish." The blunt math of it was infuriatingly sound. John's ego, momentarily soothed by the memory of having Jack at gunpoint, curdled. He gave a short, sharp nod. "Fine. You said Mara was one of his guardians. What else is out there?" The wind chose that moment to die. The world went preternaturally still. The constant rasp of insects vanished. High above, a circling crow let out a single, choked caw and fell silent. Jack froze. His eyes, previously focused on John, now scanned the tree line, the rocks, the long shadows with a predatory intensity. His hand drifted to the worn grip of his sidearm, a sensible, modern revolver, not the glowing gun. Instinct screamed. John's Colt was in his hand before the thought finished, the worn wood familiar and comforting. He followed Jack's sight line, but saw nothing. Just the ominous, waiting stillness. Their horse, picketed a dozen yards away, sensed it too. John's bay mare stamped and blew, her eyes showing white. Jack's dun gelding tossed its head, tugging at its rope. "Talk," John murmured, his voice barely carrying. Jack's head tilted, as if listening to a frequency John couldn't hear. "I told you." The preacher had mythical defenders. Mara was the hunter. The most aggressive. He paused, his body coiled. "The other, is a sentinel." "What kind of sentinel?" John's eyes swept the brush. "The kind that asks questions," Jack whispered. "The kind you cannot kill with your pea shooter." Before John could rebut that statement, the world erupted. Something came out of the trees in front of them, something that moved with purpose, not panic. It was bigger than any animal John had ever seen. Not merely tall or wide, but vast, its bulk filling the space between the trunks as if the forest itself were giving birth to it. Limbs like living timber drove it forward, snapping branches and crushing undergrowth without slowing, the ground shuddering beneath each stride. John's mind reached for comparisons and found none that fit. This was not wildlife. This was intrusion, an impossible mass forcing its way into the world. Then it spoke. The sound was layered and terrible, the wrath of a lion at the kill, the cry of a hunting hawk in its final dive, and beneath it all, cold and unmistakable, the clear, imperious voice of an angered queen. "That," the voice boomed, the word hitting like a physical blow, shaking earth and bone alike, "would be me." The horse shattered. It screamed in pure, mindless terror, snapping its picket line as if it was thread. John's bay wheeled and vanished into the scrub in a thunder of hooves. The dun was a blur behind her. And between John and Jack, where the thicket had been, stood the creature. It landed with a final, ground-shaking thud, its massive, leonine body settling. It was bigger than a bull, muscles moving under short, tawny fur like currents under sand. Enormous wings, feathered in gold and burnt umber, folded against its flanks with a sound like 100 swords being sheathed. Its tail, tipped with what looked like a spearhead of bone, lashed once, slicing the air with a crack. But it was the face that stopped John's breath. It was a woman's face, carved from aged, flawless ivory. Haughty, beautiful, impossibly ancient. Eyes of liquid, piercing gold held an intelligence that was vast, alien, and utterly focused. It turned that face first toward John, and a smile touched its perfect lips, a smile of chilling, academic interest. "Ah," the Sphinx rumbled, the word vibrating in John's teeth. "The little man who hunts the Baron of Hell and murders winter hags. How lovely!" John's Colt was up, aimed between those golden eyes. He knew, with a cold certainty, that it would be as useless as it had been against Mara. But the habit of defiance was bone deep. The Sphinx's smile widened. Then, with a deliberate, graceful turn of its mighty neck, it shifted its gaze past John. Its eyes settled on Jack, who stood perfectly still, his own weapon held low. The ancient, regal fury on the creature's face deepened, tinged with a profound and personal contempt. "And you," the Sphinx breathed, the wind of its words hot and smelling of incense and stone dust. "The exiled one. The oath breaker. You dare shepherd this blunt instrument into my domain?" Jack's expression was blank, unreadable. He gave the slightest bow of his head. "We seek passage through your domain, my lady. We have business with the preacher." "Your business is heresy," the Sphinx growled. "Your presence is a corruption. The preacher is under my protection. His faith, however misguided, is a flame. You are the wind that seeks to snuff it." Its gaze swung back to John, dismissive. "And this is your weapon?" "A man who believes all problems can be solved with a gun." It took a step forward, the earth sinking under its weight. Its golden eyes pinned John. "But I am not unreasonable." The Sphinx's voice thrummed like temple stones cracking. "Solve my riddle true, and I might grant passage to the preacher's lair. Fail and you and your weapons will feed my garden. Gold eyes bored into John, unblinking. Let us see what you know. Here is your riddle, gunslinger. I speak without a mouth and hear without ears. I have no body, but I come alive with wind. What am I? The silence was absolute. John felt the weight of the question, felt the trap in it. This wasn't a game. It was a test with a single, fatal outcome for failure. He glanced at Jack, who gave a minute, almost imperceptible shake of his head. Don't guess. The Sphinx saw the look. Its laugh was a low, grinding avalanche of sound. No help from your keeper, little weapon? Your strength is silence and lead. Neither will serve you here. Answer. Or become another bones to be added to my garden. John Wayne's gaze shifted from the impossible creature to Jack, then back to the gun in his hand, a slow smile creeping across his weathered face.